In this lesson, we'll work on greenery. We'll be using trees from glow plants and Evermotion to fill up this space. Let's start with the leafy tree. First of all, let's make the object a proxy so the file works faster. It's a very important step when you populate lots of objects. I will change the viewport display method to full mesh. It will be easier to compose the trees into the frame. For now, let's turn off the trees layer. I will start with the right-hand side of the image. Let's scale and adjust this tree a bit. I will move it back a bit. Copy the tree to the back and scale it down. Position it somewhere here. One smaller one to the front. And maybe one more here. Okay, let's move to the other side. I like to create a layering effect. The trees cover the house nicely here in the front. This way, we create a nice depth in the image. I will definitely add one more big tree to the back of the left-hand side, and the one more smaller. Let's adjust the position. Let's turn on the trees layer and see how it looks all together. Nice! I will do a couple of small adjustments though. Okay, I like it. Select all the trees by using the Select Instances option. To make our process faster, I use the script that randomly rotates the object. I put a link to it below the video so you can install it if you wish. Otherwise, randomize the trees manually in the Z-axis. Create a new layer and rename it. Now let's add some small conifer trees from Evermotion. I use Align tool here, Alt+A. Go back to the top view and start positioning the trees. It's important to create these variations in the plant species. I'll add one more tree to the right and scale it up. It will nicely crop the image. Adjust the position and rotate. Nice. Actually, I will scale this one up as well. Maybe I move it to the back too. I make the one in the back bigger. Cool, I like it. We can add rocks and trunks from Evermotion. It will add great detail to the image. I position one rock on the left-hand side corner. It will nicely crop the image. Let's make the adjustment easier, Alt+A. This one on the opposite side. Okay, now let's position the trunk. We can use the Select and Place tool. You can use the Y key shortcut. We can isolate only the surface and the trunk. It will make positioning easier. Let's place the trunk somewhere here. Unhide all and adjust the position on the Z-axis. I will scale it up a bit and rotate it. I think it will look nice on the right-hand side, but I will move the rock from there to the left-hand side. Yes, better. I will change the position slightly. Cool, it looks good. I will make a copy of the trunk and position it somewhere here. To add variations, I will rotate it and scale it. Awesome. We can add some branches from Evermotion now. Let's make this one first. I would move it down and we can make it slightly bigger. Maybe rotate a bit and move forward. Yeah, it composes nicely. I like what this corner looks like. I will add another branch here. Also scale it up and rotate it to adjust the position. Maybe more in the back. Yes, here looks nice. Let's see how it looks on render. Start interactive rendering. Okay, I like it, but I will make some small adjustments. First of all, let's move this small tree to the back. And maybe I will copy one more to the front. On both sides. It will really nicely crop the image. I will take one more leafy tree and use it to crop the image at the bottom. Yes, it looks really well. Some small adjustments and we're done. I definitely have to move this branch down. Okay, now we'll add ferns and grasses. We use chaos scatter this time. Firstly, let's draw the line that we'll use for the scatter. Adjust the vertices so it looks nice and smooth. Now create a rectangle that we'll need for scatter as well. Create the chaos scatter. We'll be using the fern model from Evermotion and the grasses from Glow Plants. We can delete this from here, we don't need it. Move the objects closer to the chaos scatter. Okay, now add the terrain to the chaos scatter here. It is a surface on which we will create the scatter. Next, we'll add the rectangle to spline includes, so the scatter will work on the terrain object, but only inside the rectangle. Add the objects we will be distributing. Go to the Scattering tab and increase the max limit value. It is a maximum number of scatter instances. Then increase your random distribution count in the Surface Scattering tab. It defines the exact number of scattered instances. Let's start interactive rendering to see how it looks. Okay, but we have to add the line to the spline excludes first. We'll use it to create a sort of path. Okay, we cannot see changes as we have to adjust the values. We have to adjust the near value. This will remove the plants that are distributed from the spline up to the distance you will choose. And let's adjust the far value, which will add a soft transition to the scatter between the near and far value. Okay, it looks nice, but I'd like to add some randomization to the scale. I think the base scale is too big, so I will make the lower value 60%. Okay, looks nice so far. But I like to have another scatter tool where the path now is. So let's turn off the fern models for the moment by changing the frequency value to 0. Duplicate the scatter as a copy. We can turn off the line here or just remove the spline completely. I will add the line as an included spline now. And let's remove the rectangle from here. And let's adjust the near and far values. A bit more as we can see the holes in between the scatters. But the scale has to be way smaller. 20 to 30% should work fine. Now we have to increase the count value. We can actually reduce the near value now. Let's increase the max limit value too to see the changes. It looks great. Let's go back to the original scatter. Turn on the ferns back on now. We can reduce the frequency of them to 0.5 though. Great! I will decrease the near value to have more ferns grow into the path. Perfect! It looks very natural. Thanks to this technique, we have way more control. We can, for example, easily change our path if needed. We just have to move the vertex of the spline. Okay, now let's do some final adjustments. I move and rotate the branch a bit. I move the trunk back. I'm still not very happy with this branch. Let me adjust it. Now it looks better. Also the trunk in the back. Let's turn on the trees. Okay, some final touches to the right-hand side corner. I move this tree more into the frame. Let's turn on the fog. Okay, now I feel that the sun has to be more intense. In the end, let's add some trees to another side of the lake. Create a rectangle so we will limit the place where the trees are. I scale it to make it longer. Create the scatter. Add the terrain as a main object. And the rectangle as a spline include. And we can add the conifer trees in the back. But let's do them bigger. And I increase the number of instances. Maybe less, it's too dense. Start interactive rendering. We can use region rendering to make rendering faster. It looks good. I'm happy with this outcome.